Welcome to Grammar Hacks, the podcast that takes the headache out of English grammar and gives you the confidence to speak and write clearly. I'm Adam.
And I'm Sarah. We're so glad you're here with us today.
Sarah, I have a question for you. If I said, let's meet on the coffee shop at Friday, what would you do?
Honestly, I'd probably text you on Friday to ask where you are because I'd be completely lost. I might show up on top of the coffee shop, just to be difficult.
Exactly. Those tiny little words, in, on, and at, are some of the smallest words in English, but they cause some of the biggest problems. They seem so simple, but they can be incredibly tricky.
They really can. Getting them wrong can make your sentences sound a little off, or in some cases, completely change the meaning. We've all seen those funny signs, like a notice for a meeting in Monday. It just doesn't feel right.
But fear not, grammar hackers. Today, we are going to demystify these pesky prepositions once and for all. By the end of this episode, you'll have a simple, powerful mental model to help you choose the right word every time, whether you're talking about time or place.
No more guessing, no more confusion. Let's get this sorted.
All right, let's start with a simple way to think about these three prepositions. The best analogy is to picture an inverted triangle or a set of Russian nesting dolls.
Ooh, I like that. So what's at the top, the biggest part of the triangle?
At the wide top, you have in. In is for the biggest, most general locations and longest periods of time. Think of things that have clear boundaries you can be inside of. We're talking about centuries, years, months, countries, and enclosed spaces.
Okay, so you'd say in the 21st century, in 2025, in London, or in a car. It's broad.
Exactly. Now, moving down the triangle, we get more specific with on. On is for smaller, more specific time frames and locations. Think of surfaces, streets, and specific days or dates.
So you'd say on the table, on Main Street, or on Monday. It's more focused than in.
You've got it. And at the very bottom of the triangle, the sharpest point, we have at for the most specific, precise points in time and exact locations.
Like at 3 p.m., at midnight, at 123 Maple Drive. It's a pinpoint.
That's the core concept. In is the biggest and most general. On is more specific for surfaces and days, and at is the most precise for exact points. Let's see how this works for time first.
Okay, let's talk about prepositions of time. Using our inverted triangle, in is for those big general chunks of time.
Right. We use in for centuries in the 1800s, years in 1999, seasons in the summer, and months in July.
It's also used for parts of the day, which feels a little like an exception, but it makes sense when you think about it as a general block of time. So we say in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening.
But here's the first tricky part. We don't say in the night, we say at night. That's just one of those fixed phrases you have to remember.
Good to know. Okay, moving down the triangle to on. This is for more specific time frames. We use on for specific days of the week, on Friday, on Sunday, and specific dates, on October 31st, on your birthday.
And finally, at the very tip of the triangle, we have at for the most precise times. We use at for clock times, at 5 p.m., at midnight, and meal times, at lunchtime, at dinner.
So if I wanted to tell you about my very specific plans, I could say, on Saturday, I'm meeting my friend at noon in the afternoon.
Perfect. You've used all three correctly. Okay, let's do a quick practice round for time. Repeat after me.
The concert is on Friday.
It starts at 8 p.m.
My birthday is in March.
Great job. Now let's apply that same triangle logic to place.
Okay, prepositions of place. The same rules apply. In is for the largest, most general locations, things you can be physically inside.
Right. We use in for countries, in Japan, cities, in Paris, neighborhoods, in the city center, and enclosed spaces, in a box, in a car, in a taxi.
Moving down to on, we're talking about more specific locations, especially surfaces. We use on for surfaces, on the table, on the floor. Streets and roads, on Oxford Street. And for larger forms of public transport where you can walk around, on a bus, on a train, on a plane.
That transport rule is a great tip. You're on a bus because you can walk on it, but you're in a car because you're enclosed in a smaller personal space.
And finally, at the pointiest part of our triangle, we have at for very specific points or locations. We use at for specific addresses, at 42 Wallaby Way, specific places in a town, at the bus stop, at the library, at the entrance, and for events, at a party, at a concert.
So, I could say, I live in London. My apartment is on a quiet street, and right now, I'm waiting at the bus stop.
Perfect. Okay, time for our listeners to practice with place. Repeat after me.
The book is on the table.
The table is in the kitchen.
I'll meet you at the coffee shop.
You're getting the hang of this. It's all about moving from general to specific.
And there you have it, the preposition power of in, on, and at. Just remember the inverted triangle.
In is for big, general places and long periods of time. On is for more specific surfaces, streets, and days. And at is for the most precise points and exact times.
Of course, English loves its exceptions, like at night. But this simple model will get you the right answer almost every time.
Our challenge for you this week is to be a preposition detective. Listen to how people talk about time and place. See if you can spot the triangle in action, and try to use it consciously in your own speaking and writing.
That's all for episode 12 of Grammar Hacks. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss our next episode.
And we'd love it if you left us a review. It helps other grammar learners find us. Until next time, keep your grammar sharp.